I wasn't expecting a patch this soon, but here we are. 1.6.5 has arrived. It's a hefty one too, at nearly 6 pages long. Let's take a look at the major changes. There are 7 new crash fixes, none of which I experienced personally, but glad to see they're patching them. The performance section seems good, but as always, we will need to give it time to test and see their effectiveness. The performance for the last few patches has been quite good, so I'm interested to see how these play out. Several things caught my eye in the art section. A new Aserai crown, 2 Batanian armors, and then most importantly, a fix that caused slower speeds for descending stairs. These stairs would always get me killed when trying to back up during a bandit fight in a city, so hopefully this fixes it. There are a few under the UI section that look really good. Stack amount for crafted javelins is a nice thing, telling us before we craft if we will get a 5 stack or not. Added a notification when the player loses a trait, so no more guessing how we lost that trait now. Added a pregnancy icon to the clan page. I always forget if my wife is pregnant or not, so this will help a bunch. My heart skipped a beat when I saw that battles and sieges section, but it does not appear that siege towers are working just yet. Hang in there, everyone. At least we can now select which troops we want with us for the keep battles. Under the army section is this little one. Armies no longer affect cohesion unless they are physically in the army. This was a huge pain, as cohesion would be half or less by the time all the nobles were in the army. A great fix here in my opinion. Now for the big focus of the patch, making tournaments great again. After 15 days, tournaments will auto-simulate. This was already in the game, but I suspect they decreased the wait time down to 15 days. The winner will receive an elite reward, which is defined as an item worth around 5,000 dinars if there are 3 other nobles in the tournament with you. If there are less nobles, then the reward is random and worth between 1,600 and 5,000 dinars. This is a great change, and the majority of prizes before were giving in the 800 to 1,500 dinar range. In my 25-day tournament challenge, I cataloged the wins from 22 tournaments, and it was quite underwhelming, so this is a great addition. They also added the prize to our party if one of our party members wins the tournament. I always wondered what happened to the money when they won before. They also got rid of all low-tier troops for the tournament, so no longer will you be stuck with an Empire peasant for 4 rounds while you battle everyone by yourself. A ton of quest fixes, but I personally don't do many quests myself, so I won't cover them here, but it's a sizable amount. We see another CPU-related improvement for performance, so we can expect even smoother gameplay. Under the combat section is another big change. Increase the tendency of cavalry to couch lance. This has been one of my biggest gripes with cavalry in the game, as it seems they prefer to play bumper cars with the enemy rather than use their enormous lance. Now let's jump into the game and test a few of these changes. Starting with the new armor pieces. We have the Aserai crown, definitely befitting a king with the gold top and an emerald on the front. They did a nice job with this one, and the armor is good as well at 42 head armor and only weighing 2.8. Next up, the Batanian long tartan. It reminds me of Spaceballs when they go plaid. The armor is bad, but this is most likely for aesthetics for low tier troops. The same can be said for the Batanian kilt over tartan trousers. This is the true Chad's armor, allowing him to show off all his magnificent chest hair. Next, let's take a look at crafting javelins. The javelin head is the determining factor as to how many will be in the stack. We can see a range of 1 to 5 for the stack size, and fortunately most of the good ones come out in a stack of 5. Here we can see the new pop-up on the right side of the screen when you lose a trait. In this case, we can lose our honest trait by lopping off some heads. This is a much needed quality of life change. For those of you who forget if your wife is prego or not, myself being the worst offender, they added this symbol above their picture and below their name in the encyclopedia. If you are still wondering about the siege towers, just feast your eyes on this. I don't really use them anymore, so I could be wrong here, but I feel like they may have actually gotten worse. It's also possible that this is just a bad map for them, but who knows. Avoid siege towers still for now. Testing the new army cohesion change, we can see that calling these armies does not add cohesion until they actually join. The base cohesion loss is at 2 per day, which jumps up to a -9 once they all arrive. A very good change here, making it reasonable to call those nobles who are more than 3 days away from you. I tested several tournaments, but didn't really notice much difference. There were no more low tier troops, but the prizes were unchanged. Most were still in the 800 to 1500 range, so I decided to try a brand new game to see if that would help. That tournament had 5 nobles and gave a prize worth a whopping 871 dinars. I don't think this is working as intended based on the patch notes. Finally, I took a couple hundred banner knights with me into battle to see how well they couch lance. And it seems they lowered their lances a fair amount, but still might need a little bit of tweaking to get it just right. Overall, I'm happy with this fix to cavalry though. As a whole, this patch has great minor fixes and quality of life changes, but nothing major here. If you're not the type to always be on the beta branch, I don't think there's a huge rush to update here. There's just not enough here for me to recommend it. I personally will stay on the beta branch for all my guides, guides as usual, and I'll keep you posted if I come across any ninja changes that weren't noted in the patch notes. Thank you for watching and have a great week.